Pedro Munhoz versus Frankie Edgar took place in the main event of UFC Fight Night Vegas 7, Munhoz versus Edgar, and it's just wrapped up. The fight has just finished. What a fight it was while it lasted. 5 rounds, back and forth. Good shots landed by both men, but I don't say this often, and I really do carefully choose my words here. This was a blatant daylight robbery, and the reaction to people right now after hearing me say that statement is going to tell me a lot about the state of the MMA community right now. I'll tell you this, because you cannot logically disagree with me when I say this. Edgar versus Munhoz was one of the worst robberies this year and of all time in MMA history. There has never been a clearer fight scored, at least 3-2 to Pedro Munhoz on rounds, winning rounds 3, 4, and 5. He could have won round 1 as well. I had him win in round 1. He outlanded Frankie Edgar in round 1 as well. Munhoz wins round 1. I had it 4-1 Munhoz. They somehow found a way to give this fight to Frankie Edgar, and I saw it coming when the fight was starting to come to a close. I said it's a clear Munhoz win. They're going to rob him, because the highlights that they showed between each round were incredibly biased towards Frankie Edgar. They showed none of the Munhoz highlights whatsoever. The strike totals that they showed throughout the fight were completely wrong. Every single round they showed the strikes, I said they were wrong. Munhoz is clearly outlanding him. Every round, 3, 4, and 5 that they showed those strikes, they had it razor close. I said they're wrong. Munhoz is clearly outstriking him, and we take ourselves to the official stat page, and if you haven't turned off of the video yet, you still have time to see the light. If you dislike the video after I spit these facts at you, it's going to tell me a lot about your level of chromosomes that you have in your body, because you may have one extra if you still disagree with me after I read you a few short selection of numbers. Pedro Munhoz landed a higher percentage of strikes in the first round and outlanded Frankie Edgar, landed the more damaging strikes in the first round by making Edgar limp around the octagon, landing plenty of leg kicks at one point in the first round as well. Pedro Munhoz knocked Frankie Edgar off of his feet with a leg kick. It was the most significant strike in the round. Not to mention, Munhoz always finished strong. 30-29 in round 1. I give it to Pedro Munhoz, but you know what? It was a close round. Have that one. I'm giving you round 1. Take it for your side of the argument. I'll still beat you. Munhoz won round 1 clearly by landing the better shots, landing more of them, and only landing the one big shot that knocked Edgar off of his feet was that leg kick in that round. I'm giving you that clear round to Munhoz. Round 2 was razor close as well. Munhoz landed the bigger shots, but Edgar landed more. Edgar wins round 2 in my opinion. Edgar wins round 2. That's 1-1. But for you idiots that are saying that Edgar won that matchup, I'll give you 2-0 Edgar. Now try and out-debate me. Round 3. In an only striking battle where no significant takedowns were landed, and when they were, the opponent got right back to their feet and landed a big shot on the guy who took them down. Round 3. The strikes were shown to be equal. Munhoz outlanded him 33-24 and landed a higher percentage of his strikes and knocked Edgar off of his feet with a leg kick in round 3 and landed the bigger shots overall in round 3 as well. There's no way in hell you can with a straight face deny me that Pedro Munhoz won round 3 against Frankie Edgar, because if you do deny that, you're a liar, and you've lost all of my respect. Round 4, stay tuned. Bear in mind, these are a bigger strike difference than in Reyes versus Jones, rounds 1, 2, and 3. Just a little thing I'll point out. Round 4, 35 significant strikes to Pedro Munhoz, 24 to Frankie Edgar. Pedro Munhoz landed a higher percentage of those significant strikes by a mile. He also landed a third more, or double of Edgar's strikes. Half of Edgar's strikes on top of Edgar's strikes makes up Munhoz's strikes. He won round 4. No significant takedown. I don't even think he took him down in round 4. That might have been a round where he didn't get him down. He might have got him down at the start, but Munhoz popped right back up, immediately reversed it, and landed a big shot when they got back to their feet. Round 4, in favour of Munhoz, 35-24. No argument there, though. Surely no argument there. When they showed the strike numbers on screen in the middle of the fight, they had them close to even. It wasn't. I said that in the fight, and I'm right again. 35-24 in favour of Pedro Munhoz. Clear round, right? This isn't an argument of Munhoz 30 or Munhoz lands 26, Edgar lands 24. I'd still say Munhoz wins that round. This is 35-24. Round 5. Some people gave this round to Frankie Edgar because the strike numbers that they see on screen that tell them how they see a fight told them that it was even in the round 5. Round 5 was the clearest round for Pedro Munhoz. The entire fight, 47 significant strikes to 33 of Frankie Edgar's. That's not 1 or 2 strikes where we can have some kind of debate. That's 16 strikes. That's not 16 strikes, that's 14 strikes of a difference in round 5. 47 significant strikes to 33, and Pedro Munhoz landed a higher percentage of his strikes, 49% to 39%, as he did in round 4, as he did in round 3, clearly outstriking Frankie Edgar by a mile in all 3 of those rounds. If you can see these stats of the official recounts that I was counting in the middle of the fight, the strike counter, who doesn't have to commentate at the same time like I do, can't get correct. Every single time they show it on screen, it's incorrect. I tell them it's incorrect. This is the biggest robbery of all time. I'm not exaggerating. It's the biggest robbery of the year. It's clearer for Munhoz than Reyes-Jones was for Reyes. That's not a joke at all. Reyes only outlanded John Jones by like 4 strikes in round 3. Munhoz was doing it by double-digit numbers. Outlanding him by double-digit numbers. And they gave it to Edgar, and no one cares because they like Edgar. We're going to be boxing. We are going to be boxing. Sort your fucking chromosome levels out and see the light like I do every week. I swear to God, man. My fans in the chat when I'm watching these fights, they're saying I'm biased. I said this in a live stream. They make me feel like I watch my live streams back and I say, oh my God, who am I? I sound like I have a God complex because I always say, like, I'm so right here. You guys are all wrong. That's a sign of a God complex. If one person thinks they're right and everyone around them seems to think they're wrong, in my chat, like, it's just, I was clearly right. Every round, 3 through 5, Munhoz outlanded Edgar by double digits. By double digits. Round 3, he outlanded him by 9. My bad, not double digits, only 9 significant strikes, and they were bigger strikes as well. My bad. Round 4 outlanded him by 11. Round 5 outlanded him by 14. What can you do? What can you do with MMA anymore? It's just blatant robberies. They constantly seem to happen. And Munhoz lost half his money in his entire career, basically. If he won this fight, he'd be off to the races. 33 years of age, on the way out of his prime, but this one would have turned back the clock. Biggest robbery of the year. And if you disagree with me, you disagree with logic and facts, and you lose your opinion to debate at the MMA Grand Council, you lose your ability to debate there. You can no longer debate with the Grand Wizards of MMA. I revoke your license to give an opinion on MMA. That's right, we're going communist. I'm taking away your freedom of speech. You lose your license to speak on the sport of MMA If you think that Edgar beat Munhoz, I'm not joking. If you genuinely watch those stats, and you watch the fight back again, and you think Edgar won, you're lying, or you don't deserve an opinion. Like and subscribe. It's genuinely it. There's no debating it. He got robbed. Good fight, though. Let's talk about it. Munhoz was landing good leg kicks throughout the entire fight. Good front kicks throughout the entire fight as well. That front kick was landing money, money, money. Edgar was throwing good combos. Only one of his combos was landing. One shot from his 4-punch combos was landing. Saw it every time. Most punches were landed on the arms. Wasn't even throwing them to land on the face. He was basically throwing a bunch of feints that landed on the arms. None of them landed clean. Saw it throughout the entire fight. Apparently the judges didn't see it. Apparently the judges deducted about 10 strikes from Munhoz every single round and gave Edgar about 5 or 6. Interesting. Just pretty interesting how before it even ended, they were showing only Frankie Edgar highlights. None of the big shots that Munhoz landed throughout the fight. None of the front kicks. None of the leg kicks that wobbled Frankie to one knee. None of the leg kicks that took Edgar off of his feet. And then they panned the camera on Edgar at the end. And I said to my chat, this is going to be a robbery. They've already set it up. They've shown the strike numbers. They're wrong. Said it in the middle of the fight. How many more times do I have to say it? I'm sitting here dealing with autistic children in my chat. Commentating the fight as well. Trying to be unbiased. And counting strikes. And I'm doing a better job than the strike counter is that works for the UFC. Someone has a job at the UFC. That job is to count strikes. I can manage an autistic daycare in my chat, commentate, and be better than them at counting strikes. I'm a retard. That person should lose their job, or I should get it. UFC. Give me a job. I'll do you so proud. I'll count every strike correctly, every card, and I'll do a fight companion at the same time every week. We won't have this problem. If you are ignoring that this is one of the biggest robberies of the year, where Munhoz outlanded him by almost double digits every round that he won clearly, 3, 4, and 5, you're a liar. And you want it to become boxing because your favourite person won. I like Edgar as well. That doesn't excuse a blatant robbery. Click that button there, like and subscribe. Goodbye.